Welcome back to WRPL. It's the podcast where we talk about all the things we were watching, reading, playing, and listening to. My name's Ben.
And I'm Steve.
Welcome back, Steve.
I've missed you, buddy.
It's been a while. Too much to talk about, but it's a special episode. It's Easter. It's 420. It's the 150th episode of WRPL. Congratulations we've stuck with it.
We're gonna find some eggs, smoke some weed, and talk about movies and TV and books and other stuff.
I did bring eggs.
Yes.
Now, so
hard-boiled, scrambled,
little of all.
Oh, okay.
I have a nice assortment. No devil dough.
And a
sorry.
moose-bouche.
And a moose-bouche of eggs.
I don't know what a moose-bouche is.
Neither do I, actually.
I'm going to assume I used it correctly.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So I've been away. I didn't get to watch as much as I wanted to just because of obligations with family things. I've tried to play catch up. There's been a ton of news, a ton of trailers. I don't know if there's anything particular you want to talk about before we get into some of the other things. I only got two things I want to say. One, I met up with an old friend that I haven't seen in years, and he listens to the show, and I found that kind of embarrassing that any human being that I know personally would listen to this, but it was really flattering as well. Like, he was really complimentary, and Jeff, if you are listening to this one, thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
And then second thing is Val Kilmer died, unfortunately. Yeah. I already thought he was dead. Maybe that's just Top Gun Maverick in my brain because, he looked bad in that. You could tell there was something wrong. He dies in that. And I thought he died not too long after that, but apparently not. But
just been quietly in the background.
Yeah. Any Val Kilmer roles that stick out to you as like, wow, what a great actor.
Yeah. Probably the best performance I've ever seen in a movie is Batman Forever. That's his, right?
That is his.
Okay, yeah.
He's not a terrible Batman.
No.
I mean, he's a pretty good Bruce Wayne. He's not the greatest Batman.
Yeah, no. Val Kilmer wasn't really my guy. Didn't really stand out. After watching Top Gun, I can't remember if I watched it before or after Top Gun Maverick, but I never saw Top Gun. Watched that. Movie still holds up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little rapey at times.
Sure.
Just like men following women into the bathroom to hit on them, and they're down with that. Things like that. But he plays a great douchebag.
Oh, yeah. Obviously.
Kiss, Kiss, Bang,
Kiss,
Bang.
Kiss, Bang, Bang.
Yeah.
I can't believe it took me a minute. Yeah, I love Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang. If you haven't seen Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang, watch Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang. How many times am I going to say Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang? But he plays Gay Perry, and he's fucking great in that movie.
Yeah. My two that I always think of is Top Secret. If you like Naked Gun, you like Hot Shots, Top Secret was one of his very first movies. Mm-hmm. And it's like a World War II movie. It's kind of like a parody of like Elvis movies, just that like hot guy gets put in his situation, may have to sing a bit. And it's very, it's another, let's just like watching Airplane where it's a joke a second, They don't always land. Maybe some of them don't hold up to today, but I remember Top Secret just being like joke after joke after joke. And then Willow, Mad Mardigan, a great role. R.I.P. It sucks that he had to have this thing happen to him that took him so early. Like he would have been a guy that stuck around for years and years.
Yeah,
I think
he'd still be doing movies right now.
Like Patrick Swayze.
Well, now, but
if Patrick Swayze didn't have his, is it colon cancer or pancreatic cancer, something like that?
Something like that.
They'd still be killing it today, but R.I.P. VAL. Let's get into, roll. God damn it. I'm out of sorts. I haven't done this in a while. Let's roll, but...
do you want red, blue, or black?
Ooh, we haven't done black yet. We do red and blue a lot.
All right.
But our main topics today are Minecraft and Sinners. Bunch of other things to talk about, so let's get into it. Steve, give us a roll!
13. Okay, not terrible.
I wouldn't scoff at it.
12.
Okay.
Not bad.
Okay. Closing the gap. All right. Well, Steve, you won, so you go first.
All right. I am just going to knock out some television shows that I've completed recently. Just do like a quick little rapid fire.
Sure.
Actually, you know what? I lied. I'll do something I listened to. I went down a YouTube rabbit hole of just like looking at the Wire clips. I don't
It's
know how I ended up there.
because you love The Wire.
I do remember how I got there, but I'll get back to that later.
Okay.
Um, so I listened to the Wire at 20 podcast. It came out a couple years ago, hosted by Method Man, who played Cheese on the Wire, and it's I think it was 8 episodes, and it's like him and like interviews with the cast and crew, just talking about the show and different aspects of the show. It's if you're a huge fan of The Wire and have like read the All the Pieces Matter book or just watched any sort of like interviews with these guys, you're not really learning a bunch of information you haven't heard before. But it's just so incredible how they like made this show and how like no one really was watching it at the time, and this group of like unknowns come in, and it's a show that they're still talking about now. So if you haven't seen The Wire, watch The Wire. As for the podcast, it was fine. Method Man's kind of a fun host.
Sure, yeah. Michael B. Jordan was in it. We're going to talk about Sinners later.
Yeah.
So
Where's Wallace String? Where's Wallace? So yeah, that was the podcast I completed. So I listened to something this week.
Cool.
And I remember the reason I watched that podcast or listened to the podcast was I read a graphic novel. It was a 2-part graphic novel called Homicide. It is a graphic novelization of David Simon's book Homicide: A Life on the Killing Streets, and which is the thing that inspired Homicide TV show, The Corner, The Wire, pretty much everything David Simon created at that time.
So when did this graphic novel come out?
2022 or 2023.
Oh,
So it's like real new.
the graphic novel is based off of a book,
Off
right?
of a book from
When did the book
90s.
come out? Okay, in the 90s. All
I
right.
believe it was the 90s.
Yeah.
But all the like research I think was done like late 80s.
Okay.
Because that's when this. It's weird. I've never read a graphic novel like this because it's based off a book, but the book isn't a narrative book. It's just like information about real people
Okay.
and real events.
Kind of like Mean Girls was based off of Queen Bees and Wannabes, which wasn't a narrative. And
But they made a narrative out of that.
Out of that,
This
yeah.
isn't a narrative.
Oh, really? Even the graphic novel is not a narrative.
It has like narrative moments where the characters in the story are like talking to each other and investigating a thing, but really there's no like real through line. There's no like overarching story. It's just kind of like here's things that the Baltimore Police Department had to deal with, specifically like how the homicide unit functioned and how certain detectives operate and how the bureaucracy that they might have deal with from Capitol Hill or dealing with people on the street who like don't want to talk to them, and how easy it is to sort of like get away with murder if you like just say nothing. But so many times these homicide detectives, like everyone just can't help themselves but like try and talk their way out of it, and it gets them screwed. And how like they work on cases for months and months and months, and it can just lead nowhere, or like they put it aside to work the other 100 murders that have happened this year, and it's really just like 15 guys in the homicide. You don't have to like investigate 200 plus murders a year, and in a city that like doesn't like them, and
it's chock-a-block full of murders.
it was a really interesting read and a little like nice time capsule. And if you're a fan of Wire, I would say like check it out just to see like sort of real stuff that it's based on. There is even moments that is directly pulled from that into the show. Like I don't know if you remember McNulty and Bunk talking. It's like McNulty said, "Hey, I just want to say thank you because when you fucked me, you were real gentle." And he's like, "Well, I knew it was your first time, and I wanted to make it special." Like a real funny back and forth. Like that is actual dialogue pulled from these detectives.
Nice.
And there's cases that they work that I believe are very similar to cases that you see in that show, or probably Homicide. And it's just like a real interesting look inside the life of detectives. That is like not just she was walking down the street and it's 4 a.m.
The dame walked into
my office and I already had 4 shots of bourbon. It's like nothing like that. It's just like real people doing real police work, and just like the shit that they gotta like put up with. And it doesn't pull any punches. Like these guys aren't necessarily like the nicest people, but they're like trying to make the best of like a awful situation. Like I don't know how anyone wants to be a homicide detective. It
No.
just seems like just the shittiest job that
Mm-hmm.
gives like no real reward. Um, but what's interesting about it is that, like, to be a homicide detective, at least at this time, who knows how it is now, like, you had to be the best
Mm-hmm.
because if you didn't clear cases, they just kicked you out. Like,
Yeah.
so it was really, really the best detectives are working these crimes.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, if you didn't get the new guy when your case came by, but it's pretty interesting.
And what's it called again?
It's just called Homicide.
Okay.
I forget the author or the guy who like made the graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
Just type in David Simon graphic novel and this will
Sure.
pop up.
Sure.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say like it's a super fun read or it's a must read, but if you're a fan of The Wire and any of that world, Baltimore crime,
Mm-hmm.
it's worth checking out. The last thing I'll say is the one thing I really didn't like about this book is the color palette. There's like next to none.
Oh.
It's like three colors. It's like beige, gray, and like dark blue. Those are like the only three colors other
Huh.
than red, which is only appears when there's blood.
Yeah.
And it's just like, can we? There's so
Huh.
many colors in the world.
Yeah.
And like I would have preferred, like, if you're gonna do that, just go black and white and have the red for blood. Because
Mm-hmm.
this color palette you're using, I didn't care for. It was very bland.
Hmm.
But
That's a
anyway,
shame.
so those are my two start off things.
All right. Well, I finished 3 shows. I'll be very quick, at least with 2 of them. Yellowjackets season 3. Uh, you know, probably the worst season, but it's just because you got to spin your wheels a little bit because this is going to be 5 seasons and we have to hit certain things before they get rescued and everything. So
So it has been renewed for season 4 and 5.
yeah, I think it's
Oh,
already
okay.
in the bag. Um, so sometimes you're just like, Jesus Christ, the decisions these characters are making are so obnoxious.
Hmm.
And they really turn one character into the biggest fucking bitch. Like, she is the worst. Um, but, other characters are
The adult version or the young version?
young.
Okay.
Young version. Ooh, shaking my fist at her. But some crazy things happen in it, and I really enjoyed it. I don't care if it's dumb. I don't care if it's drop stories. I look at it like Lost. You're not going to get every answer to every little thing that happens to it, but you're there for the journey and seeing how they go. We get the reveal of Pit Girl and the Antler Queen from episode 1, so that gets answered at least. But good shit. I mean, it's probably going to be another 2 years before the next season, but I'm still on board.
Yeah. If I really enjoyed season 1, if I ever get the opportunity to watch season 2 and 3, hopefully they
They'll
hit
drop on Netflix
Netflix at some point.
eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be the first one to let you know.
Yeah. I watched the Devil May Cry anime. That was like
Really?
that was my airplane
Okay.
show. I just downloaded all of them to my phone and I just watched that. It's really hard to focus on a show when you have really bad turbulence and you think you're gonna die. My
Especially in recent months.
yeah, exactly. My second flight out of 4 flights was the worst. They couldn't even serve beverages. It was so jumpy.
How long was the flight?
Hour and a half.
Ah, it's not
And
bad.
and it's like I usually don't get drinks on airplanes anymore because I gotta just pee all the time, and
Sure.
I'm not, and I always get the middle seat, and I'm always an inconvenience, so I don't get a drink. But anyway, regardless, watched Devil May Cry anime. It's fun. I remember only so much from the game. I remember playing the games more than the story of the game, and
Yeah.
I just remember Dante's a huge douche, and he is.
How many
And
of them did you play?
I think 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Or maybe I didn't even finish 3. Maybe it was just 1 and 2. But I was a
Mhm.
big Capcom guy. I love Resident Evil, love Street Fighter, and Marvel vs. Capcom, and Mega Man. Like Capcom was my thing. So when this game came out, I was like, hell yeah, I'll play it. And then it's a lot of fun. And I hear some of them are good, some of them are bad. I think 5 is one of the like a real divisive one.
Mhm.
But it's just fun. And if you like douchey dudes killing demons in really cool ways with a rockin' early 2000s soundtrack, like the intro song is Rollin' by Limp Bizkit.
Oh, nice.
It plays Papa Roach and different things, so it really has a certain vibe to it.
Now, is that music just for the vibe, or is it's set in the
I
early
don't know
2000s?
if it is set in the 90s because like the vice president in the thing kind of looks like Joe Biden, like a yoked out Joe Biden, but then the president's this like effeminate Yosemite Sam character. It's very strange. So it's like, I don't know who these are necessarily supposed to represent, but no, I think they just went like this sort of flashy big leather coat and doing cool shit. That's very early 2000s and 90s. So let's do music of the time. So it does kind of like get you into it. Like, I don't like Limp Bizkit, but every time it comes on, it's like, okay, I kind of like this. Even it's, I kind of hate it, but I'm not upset that I'm hearing it.
Maybe it's not a great song, but it's a good soundtrack.
Yeah. So I mean, I gave it a, what did I give it? Like an okay.
Okay.
When it comes to my TV shows, it's like thumbs up, thumbs down, or okay. I'm not gonna rank it in any sort of way. It's okay. You like anime? You like Devil May Cry? Watch it. Last TV show that I finished, and you did as well, is Daredevil: Born Again. I really like this season. It may be uneven. It may, like, some things don't add up as well, like Foggy's death being like not the exact driving force through the whole thing. It's like it has a purpose and it shows up at the end, but it felt like it should have been more meaningful throughout. Muse coming and going very quickly. Like there's issues that I could have with it, but I don't know. Watching Punisher and Daredevil kill a bunch of cops, or at least Punisher kill a bunch of cops, and seeing that head crush was the most jarring thing I've ever seen in Marvel.
Was shocked.
I was flabbergasted. And the thing that it gets me the most is it's kind of ugly looking.
Yeah.
It's not a great effect. I saw that they had 2 chances, and the first one, it was so comical with the blood splurt, they had to go with the second one. But the way his hands move, it doesn't look authentic, and it lingers too much. I think if they just did Fist's face, you hear the crack, a little blood splatter on his face, and then when he lets go of the body to fall, you see it in like a couple of frames.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to see. But we get this crazy, almost like Lovecraftian rip apart, like it's turning into something else. It was a bit much, but I love that they just like saved all their violence tokens for the very last episode, and they're like, oh, we want to see the Punisher just like stabbing people and dragging it through, and then just having a huge splatter of blood. It was great, and then getting to hear John Barenthal just go through the whole thing. That's all he does. It's just. But, but all in all, I think it was a very fun season. I'm excited for the next one since they're already filming it, or a lot of it's already done. Biggest complaint, he's like, we need to build an army. And then he walks into the bar and is like, hey, look at all these guys from this show that aren't that interesting. I know, like, Bullseye is going to join the team, like the enemy of my enemy and stuff. Like, there's shots of them fighting together. But this is where you throw in Luke Cage. This is where you throw in fucking Echo. Echo has ties with Kingpin. If you're going to do something, this is the time. I get it. You can't put Spider-Man in it. That's never going to happen. But, where's Jessica Jones? Where's some of these? Where's Misty Knight? She has a robot arm now. Like, there's characters that could have been there, and it's like, I'm the cop that's only been in this season, and I'm the other cop that's only been in this season. Do you even remember our names? Probably not, but we're on the team too. Like, I don't give a shit about these people. But yeah, good shit. I enjoyed pretty much all of it.
I disagree. I did not like the season. I mean, part of me was like so excited for it to come back, even though like it had been so long since I watched the first 3 seasons, and like I didn't really remember that much. But I'm like, you know what? Daredevil's fucking cool. Who cares?
I'd rather have Daredevil than no Daredevil.
And I really enjoyed, the opening bit with Bullseye. Sorry, I was going to say Deadshot. With Bullseye. That was really cool. I like when they finally get like Daredevil stuff. It's really awesome. But it's just this whole season just felt like the Matt Murdock show featuring a bit of Daredevil. And
incorrect.
I think it's just the whole season just felt like kind of a tease of just like, Bullseye, he's pretty cool, right? We're only going to see him really for this episode. Daredevil's pretty cool, right? Well, we're going to get like 3 good fights. Punisher's cool, right? Well, he's going to show up for this thing, and you're not going to see him till the very end. Karen and Foggy are back? The whole crew's back. Well, Foggy's dead in episode 1, and you don't see Karen again until the finale. I complained about the banks robbing episode, not because I necessarily didn't think it was like a fun episode, just like it has nothing to do with like the overall story. It was just like,
Yeah.
here's a one-off Daredevil episode.
Hmm.
And looking back, it might be my favorite episode of the season, just because like at least something fucking happened and he
Yeah.
did some fun things with his like powers.
Hmm.
And it was cool, like grabbing the guy's red mask thing and like then kind of like
Hmm.
getting back into the flow of things.
Yeah, but the plot of like you got to get this gem because it was owned by Fisk's wife to pay off something. Like I don't understand what the point of it was, but I don't care because it really, if it doesn't add up to anything, it's just Daredevil robbing or saving a bank robbery, and I loved it.
And it was just like, oh, and here's Fisk again. And it's like, but they're not really gonna like battle each other at all. Oh, Muse, here's this really cool, scary, awesome villain who's in one episode, essentially. It's like, it just, the whole season was just like, here's all these things to be excited about, but we're going to brush past them really fast. And now it's the end. Like, I couldn't get into it. And like, I was just like watching the show, like, while I'm like scrolling through my phone. And I really tried. I wanted to like it, and there's good things in it. I think Charlie Cox is great, and I think I know I'm rooting for Daredevil to show up in like the MCU, and just like I fully support the show continuing on, but I just wish I cared about anybody else and just like, oh, here's all these cool things that like I should be excited about that I really like don't feel like they did anything with. And by the end of it, I was just like, thank God I don't have to watch any more episodes. So
Well, now Andor's starting this Tuesday, so you gotta watch Andor.
We'll see.
All right, your turn.
All right. I'm gonna knock out some shows. We already talked about Daredevil. So 2 shows I watched. I don't think we talked about it, but Running Point on Netflix, starring Kate Hudson. It is a comedy about a Kate Hudson who is part of this family who owns sort of like a mythical Lakers, the basketball team. So in this world, the Lakers don't exist. It's
but not mythical as in they're elves.
No.
Okay,
Sorry.
a fake team.
A fake team. Okay. Sorry, yes, that's what I. They're called like the Hurricanes or something like that. I don't fucking remember. But it's the NBA essentially, and she's the first woman to own and run a basketball team. And no one thinks that she can do it, and her brothers are just, they thought they were kind of like next in line after the eldest brother like got caught with, has a drug problem and he went to rehab, and so he passed on to her, even though like because he's like, I know more than these 2 fucking idiots, and like I think you have a real good shot of. This is a show my wife picked out, and I was just like,
Netflix, you said?
Netflix, yeah.
Okay.
It was like, you watch a lot of shit I throw at you, I'll check this out. And it had this Ike Barinholtz and the brother from the other 2.
Oh, okay.
And Justin Theroux is the oldest brother who was running the team, who passes on to Kate Hudson. And you know what? It's actually pretty funny. It's not, laugh out loud, joke, or anything like that. But if you want something just kind of simple and has some like real solid jokes, Running Point's actually pretty solid. Schmidt from New Girl, he plays Kate Hudson's fiance in this. Chet Hanks, Tom Hanks' weird son, he plays on the basketball players. So if you like into basketball or comedy, that's a good fun blend for you. For anyone who's like in the know of the Lakers, Jeannie Buss is an executive.
Jeannie Buss.
Yes, Jeannie Buss is an executive producer, and Jeannie Buss is, I believe, the first woman to run NBA basketball team, and so this is kind of like based off of her life, but obviously it's not accurate at all.
Sure.
This is all silly, but it was kind of fun that they took this premise and like, well, we're gonna make a comedy show out of it, and it was better than I thought. So B minus.
All right.
And the last show I watched was Nobody Wants This, also on Netflix. This is also a show my wife pitched, starring Adam Brody and Kristen Bell.
I don't know what this is.
Okay, you're just looking like...
No, yeah, I'm looking and I'm trying to go into my mind palace and figure out, like, have I seen this?
So it's 10 episodes, romantic comedy. Kristen Bell has a podcast with her sister where they kind of talk about sex and their dating life, and Kristen Bell only dates, like, assholes, and her sister does too, and it's made them really successful. It's they said in the episodes, like, we don't want to be another Call Her Daddy podcast, but it's essentially like that kind of vibe. And so she meets Adam Brody's character. Adam Brody's a rabbi, and he's just like hot as fuck, and
Is
just
this
like
Fleabag season 2?
essentially. But he's like just a really good guy, like total opposite of other guys she's dated. He's religious, she's not, and his culture is different from her, and like how are they gonna like get past some of the things that they have to work around. But their chemistry is really good, and it's a really fun show. Once again, it has its moments that made me laugh, but it's not like hilarious. But if you want something that kind of makes you feel good, it's kind of funny, and just like you want to watch two actors who like I think work really well together. Nobody wants this as a nice little a little cozy watch
Okay.
that'll make you feel good.
Does he give up his religion to be with her?
No. Well,
Okay.
spoilers for anyone who.
Yeah, like I'm gonna watch this shit.
But the religion plays a big aspect into the show,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like I don't know. I won't spoil it for you
Yeah.
because I know you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was just cute and fun, and there's gonna be a season 2, and we'll probably watch that. I don't know how long the show will go on.
Yeah.
It's like this might be a 3-season thing tops, but for the most part, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Another B minus, a higher B minus than Running Point, I'd say. But Running Point's funnier.
Okay.
But I think Nobody Wants This might be a slightly better show. Who's to say?
Awesome! Can't wait to
those are my two.
Man, you're bringing the fire today.
Hey man,
a book about cops and some terrible TV shows.
Not
awesome.
Terrible, perfectly fine TV shows.
All right. Well, speaking of perfectly fine or less than. Wait, did you have another thing?
I have another TV show. Did you finish?
Oh my god!
Did you finish Wheel of Time?
No, haven't gone back to it.
Okay, we'll talk about Wheel of Time next week.
Another time, yeah. I have some catching up to do on that one. But I have other things I give more of a shit about. So I watched a movie called Hell of a Summer, written and directed by Finn Wolfhard and other guy who's also in the movie. This movie kind of sucked.
Okay.
It wasn't garbage, but it was just so uninspired.
All I know is from the trailer, it's a group of kids who go to a summer camp.
They go to a summer camp. They're going to be counselors for the first time. The people who run the camp are not there. So they're like, cool, we're going to party. And before the kids show up, and it's like everyone's kind of first time being camp counselors. And then there's the old head who's 24 years old. This is like his 6th year, coming back 8th year or something. And everyone's like, dude, aren't you a little too old for this? And he's like, oh, but I love it. This is the only place like he felt cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, people start dying. They all start freaking out. They're blaming him. And like, there's characters and dynamics that I see that can be good, but some of the casting choices are really bad. Like there's like Finn Wolfhard's buddy in it is like super jealous that Finn Wolfhard is like getting with a girl and that he didn't get killed first because they think like they're killing all the pretty people first. And it's like, whoa, what about me? And I see a Dave Franco sort of character. And just imagine Dave Franco in a tight blue shirt and a puka shell necklace. Like, can you see it? You can see it.
I can see that, yeah.
And it's like, oh, he has the comedy chops to bring this character to life. And this guy just feels whiny and annoying. And a lot of the characters just feel like, okay, you're here just to die. And then they don't die. And then the villain is revealed and it's a really boring reason. It's like cliche and unoriginal. And there's not even really good gore or violence for being rated R. It's just like this potential machine. And I don't want to like knock on Finn Wolfhard for his age, but this feels like a movie that is written by someone in their 30s who's been watching horror movies since they're 10 years old. And it's like, how much research has he had in his time on this planet to really kind of like flesh out what makes like summer camp slasher movies, awesome. And it's like he saw Friday the 13th and maybe Sleepaway Camp and said, I can do this. And it just feels there's not enough meat here. So pass, C-. I didn't care for it.
All right.
So let me do one more.
Yeah.
Actually, I could combine them both because they have similar themes. I watched Drop and Fall. I'll talk about Fall first.
That's a good double feature.
Yeah. fall is there's these two women. They're reconnecting to climb this radio tower in the middle of nowhere. At one point in America's history, this was the tallest structure in America, and it's just like surrounded by nothing. There's a tiny little town like a mile down the road. They're getting back together because they were on this rock climbing exhibition, and her husband fell and died. You know, the I don't know if you remember, but in Hard Eyes. Did you see Hard Eyes?
No.
Okay. Scream, Scream 5 and 6. You know how there's brother and sister, and the sister's on Yellowjackets?
Yep.
The brother, he
Got
died. Yeah. And then from Shazam, Mary Marvel, the like super sexy one who doesn't turn into an older version of herself. You know,
Okay, yeah.
she's the other one. And then a woman from The Runaways, which I know you didn't watch, but she was the blonde on Runaways. Anywho, the brunette, the Mary Marvel, that was her husband that died. Anywho, so they're like, we're going to do this thing, get to the top, and like kind of get back out there. And then, of course, the ladder breaks and they're stuck up on there. And I love movies where it's just like I saw a poster. I can't remember what it was called, but it's like a shipping container floating in the middle of the ocean, and there's a guy on top of it. It's like, that's great. How do you make a movie out of a guy on a shipping container in the middle of the ocean? And so that's what appealed to me at this. Like, they're just on top of this tiny little thing. What do you do? And like, they got a drone and they have cell phones, but they had service down at the bottom, but not at the top. So maybe if we put it in our, like, try to send a post or a message or something, put it in our phone and drop it, it would receive the signal by the time it gets down there and send the message, hopefully before it shatters or whatever. And, there's vultures coming after them. And I don't know. I think it's a good time. And I watched it on a pretty big like projection screen. And there are some aerial shots of just swinging around this huge tower and how high up they are, and just makes your stomach go into your throat. It was really effective. It has kind of a twisty ending that shouldn't exist, but it's fine. I think it's just a good time.
All right.
And then Drop.
I imagine it's a tight 90.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Same with Drop. 90 minutes, maybe 100. Woman goes on a blind date, is getting airdropped these memes about like, we're going to kill your son if you don't kill your date. That's like the most extreme part. They make her do little things before, like get into his camera and get the SD card, which it's like he has to bring his camera in and like, I'm not going to put the camera in my car because someone will steal it. Well, what if he decided to leave it in the car? Then these bad guys plan to have her get into his bag and smash the SD card. It's like all for nothing, They plan all this thing, and if he just would have left the camera in his car, anywho, regardless. So there's a lot of dumb things, and the reveal of why she needs to kill this guy is not that entertaining. It's not super surprising. There could only be so many people that the bad guy is. And it is the most average movie. It's not good. It's not bad. It is just so right down the middle. I would say, unless you have the pass, don't bother.
So, pass unless pass.
Pass unless pass, yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Yep, if that makes any sense.
All right, because I'm not going to see this movie. We can cut around this. So,
okay.
Can you give me a clue or is it like you really need to watch it before you can go like, okay, I see who it is, or is it just
you wouldn't be able to get it from the trailer probably of who is in the restaurant fucking with her.
Okay.
There's someone at her house going after the kids, but like that's not as important as like why are they fucking with? Why do they gotta
go? Why are they fucking with?
Because he's I think it was the state senator's photographer or like for the Capitol, and he found out some information, took pictures of confidential money laundering things, and so just political people will get put away if they don't destroy the pictures. But they talk about, we specifically chose you, in like, I don't know how they forced their date or whatever, since it seemed like it was on a regular app, but like we needed to use you specifically to do this because you've killed before. Her ex-husband went crazy, beat her up and almost killed their kid, but she didn't actually kill him. He killed himself, but everybody thinks that she killed him. And like, so you got it in you to do what's necessary to save your son. But like, it seemed like he had taken those pictures that day. Happens to be the day of their date. And they talked about how it took like 3 months for him to kind of coax her out because it's hard for her to get back out there. Like lining this up to make her kill him is really convoluted when they probably could have just done it in any other way. Like you broke into that woman's house to get her son and kill her sister. Like break into his house
Yeah.
and kill him. Like what? And I know they said like, well, if this whistleblower ended up like dead, that would be suspicious. But if the Black Widow woman who killed her ex killed again, like I understand their reasoning behind it, but the planning just would not make any sense. Yeah, and everyone's kind of fake, fake date humor. Oh, this is so awkward, sort of conversational stuff. It feels even phonier than what you should be able to write. Just kind of
There's no real like chemistry there between the two.
there's a little bit of chemistry, but it just doesn't feel like people talk like this. Like her sister comes over and to help her get ready for the date and watch the kid, and just the sort of like, you're gonna wear that? I don't think so. And even in the trailers, like, did you mean to dress up like a candy cane? It's like, you guys are siblings. You shouldn't talk as if you're actors. It just doesn't feel it like in every movie where they go like, hey, thanks, big sis. Okay, I have a big sister. Never called my sister big sis or little sis or anything like that. That is just what you use in a script so the audience knows who this person is related to you, and it just comes off super phony. So a lot of the dialogue just feels really, really fake.
That reminds me, one thing I want to say about, we're going to go back for a second, the show Nobody Wants This. I thought it was really odd that it feels like a show that these actors are supposed to be in their like 20s, or these characters are supposed to be in their 20s, but they're played by people who are like 45.
Yeah.
And it like sometimes like her and her sister is going back and forth, just like, is that what you're like still doing? Like how you're like talking to men and just like, oh, I'm really into like that guy's got neck tattoos. I know he sucks. I'm gonna go fuck his brains out and stuff. It's just like it just seems like these characters are supposed to be younger than they actually are. It just really felt odd. But anyway, back to your thing.
Yeah.
So C minus.
Yeah, no, I gave it a C because it is just
right
perfectly average. You're not going to be pissed that you saw it unless you're spending IMAX D-Bucks money or whatever on it. It's perfectly fine. Like I don't get how a movie like this goes to theaters, but Carry On went to Netflix, and I know it's whoever buys it,
Sure.
But like Carry On, I think could have killed in theaters, and I think this is absolutely a streaming movie.
Yeah. That makes sense. I can see that.
Yeah.
All
right. You got one more thing, and then let's get to our main things.
I saw Warfare. Directed by Ray Mendoza and Alex Garland. I believe written by both of them, or maybe just Ray Mendoza. It's a story of it's a true story of the actual director when he was in Afghanistan, I think.
One of those desert wars.
And just like what happens to his squad on this one day where they're attacked. And it's, from just you talk to his buddies who were there, and just it's all pieced together from their memories, because some people remember it one way, some people remember it other, and then just like how they tried to recreate it, because this one buddy basically gets knocked out at the very beginning and just like doesn't remember anything that happened. And so they're just like, this movie he basically made just to go like, here's what happened, bud.
Oh, okay.
So this movie got a lot of great reviews, and I like war movies. I know you don't.
Unless there's a twist of sci-fi or fantasy.
It's a tight 90 minutes, and I liked it, but I don't see why it's getting such rave reviews.
Oh, okay. Isn't it a cast of hot young stars?
It is a cast of hot young up and coming actors.
Dude from Daredevil's in it, right? Daredevil, I mean, Kingpin's right hand, or the
James Gandolfini's
son, yeah.
James Gandolfini's son is in it.
Also, shout out to that guy in Daredevil. He turned into a huge piece of shit, and he was good at it.
Like father, like son.
Yeah.
I'm sure James Gandolfini's nice. I'm talking about like Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I thought this movie was solid. There's no real story, because the movie starts in the first half hour is just kind of like them sitting in this house, like just doing kind of like recon
Mm.
and like talking over a mic like to command or whatever, and just going like waiting to see what happens with this group of like guys that the sniper is like looking and spying on, and just like relaying information. But like you don't really know why they're there. You don't know, they're, it's not like they're on an assassination mission. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Bin Laden's in there, we got to get him, or
Yeah.
anything like that. It's just like there's just this group. You don't know why they're in this house that they took over, like that has civilians in it. They're like, sorry, we're confiscating your house to like spy on whoever. Um, and the movie doesn't have any like real story or message. It's just like, okay, here's 30 minutes where you like kind of get to know these characters, but like they've all could have like all these actors could have switched roles and it would have been the same movie,
Mm.
because like none of them have any like real discernible personality. There's not
And
like
that's how the military wants it. You are a cog in the
yeah,
machine. You are not an individual
like Will
anymore.
Poulter, he plays the squad leader or whatever of the
Mm-hmm.
group, but it's not like this one's the funny one, this one's the asshole, this one is, you know, the artsy one, or this one's the sensitive one. You know,
This is the
this
bad
yeah,
boy.
this is the one who's the lead singer. You know, they're all just like just dudes, and just no real discernible qualities other than like they look different from each other. Uh, and then the movie like starts. There's an explosion. Some dudes get taken out, and then the movie for the next hour is just a kind of like a bit of battle, and then they're hiding back in the house, a little bit more like gunfire, then they're back in the house, and they're just kind of like waiting to get picked up. Is like the
Hmm.
majority of this movie is like, we're surrounded, we can't get out, we have to wait for tanks to come so we can like basically evac out of here. And it's just kind of, it mostly plays in real time, and some of the violence is like really intense and gross and stuff. Like the guy's legs kind of get like blown to smithereens,
Mm.
and they're like dragging him, and there's like a corner that his leg kind of like catches on, and you see it like kind of like fold in half. It's so nasty. And I think what makes this movie like effective is because like you this isn't fucking made up war, like
Yeah,
this
this
happened to these
happened.
people. And like that's what's really fucked up about it. And Joseph Quinn is in it. He's one of the dudes. Like there's two guys who basically their legs are just mangled. Joseph Quinn's one of them, and he's just like screaming in pain and like horror and stuff. It's just like really like fucking scary that like these dudes live this. Like this was their day that
Yeah.
day.
And most
It's,
of them are between like 18 and 25 years old.
yeah. And it's just like real scary that human beings like go through this.
Whole
Um,
industry for it. It's crazy.
but it's what I kind of like about it is that it subverts like every trope, because I'm watching it with like the idea of like I have movie brain. This moment in the movie happens, that means this is going to play back later, or this is the moment in the movie where this is going to affect the story. But there's no story here because this is just like an event.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, there's one part where the guy's like, "We got to inject morphine," and he injects his buddy with morphine, but he turned it upside down, so he stabs himself with the morphine. It's like, okay, so he's gonna die because he's gonna be too woozy and he's not
Mm-hmm.
paying attention. He gets his head blown off, or you know, oh, we needed him to do this thing, but now he's passed out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the morphine never affected him.
Oh.
It's like nothing happens with that. I think maybe he just kind of went like shook his head a little bit and he's like, I'm good. And like that's it.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That's how morphine works.
So morphine like that didn't play out. You know, there's the sniper guy. You know, oh, he's gonna be the guy who's just like taking dudes out left and right. He's the first one down. Like
Oh.
he is useless the rest of the movie. That's Cosmo Jarvis's character.
Okay.
Shout out Shogun. Great show. Uh, and then you have Will Poulter's character. All right, he's a leader who's going to rally this group, and they're going to like burst out there and kill all the bad guys. And he's just like, dude, I'm fucked up. Someone else has got to take over. Like I can't like function right now. And it's just like that kind of stuff that I found really interesting, but also really frustrating, because like it just like these tiny little moments happen. Like this is going to change the course of the thing, and it's like, oh well, like
Hmm.
it doesn't really have that much effect on anything.
Interesting.
And also like you just all the villains are just like kind of faceless in the distance. You never really see them like really get shot or go down,
Mm-hmm.
because it's all kind of like from their perspective. So it's not like, you know, the camera's cutting behind the bad guys and you see the blood
Yeah.
spurts or whatever, because it's not really about like how effective they are at killing or anything like that. It's just like we have an hour until the tanks get here, and then we're gonna get out of here, and hopefully we all make it out alive. and they all do except for spoilers.
Yeah.
There's two translators with them who like
Mm,
aren't part of the U.S. military, but are just like helping them out. And so like when initially they go outside to go to the tanks to because basically the tanks show up first to get them out, and then there's a RPG that explodes. And like those two get, they sent them out first in case like there's other dudes out there, and so they're dead
damn.
instantly, and so they're able to, which is like in the grand scheme of things, the right thing that they did,
Sure.
but not the right thing to do for them. So they were like, it was an awful thing. But anywho, this movie is pretty cool, and I'm a big Alex Garland fan. But I just like as a film, just doesn't quite work for me. But if you want to see some fucked up shit, this has a little bit of that. The last thing I'll say is, of course, after I watched it, I went on IMDb and saw some trivia, and it said, and I'm assuming this is accurate, whoever put it on IMDb.
It's on the internet. Of course it
Yeah.
is.
It was like, this is the first like recreation of the Battle of something or other, which I guess is like the bloodiest battle in the Iraq War, whatever, Desert Storm, whatever this was, where it was like 5,000 like I'll just say bad guys, enemies, yeah, and like 40 Marines or whatever,
Damn.
and like because it was their group of like 12 guys and I guess other groups, and they just like all like hooked up together and got out of there. It's like, damn, like it was 40 versus 5,000. So Warfare, I would say you can skip it and you wouldn't really be missing much. But if you want like an intense war movie, like that's a good time.
I bet my dad would like it.
Yeah, it's a good movie for dads.
Yeah.
I think it's a great dad film. And as a dad now, it worked for me. I want to see all these actors do more stuff, but I didn't connect with any of them because you don't really get to know them at all. So
after you told me
B-.
Okay. After you told me you saw it, and I didn't know what that was, I started seeing interviews. Did you see the interviews where it's like the Gandolfini kid is interviewing his co-stars, but he's got a big fake mustache on, just pretending to be a reporter? And like I haven't watched all of them, but there's the beginning of one. He's just like, Charles Melton, in this shirt, and in this movie, I noticed you have a shirt on the whole time. Is there something wrong with you? And he's just trying to get them all to laugh, and it's pretty good.
The actual, I think the best scene in this movie is the opening scene. It's the only part that isn't like part of the mission, where you see all these guys and then like other guys who you don't really see throughout the movie, watching a music video. It's kind of like the beginning of or not the beginning, but it looks like The Substance. It's just like a woman with a huge butt in like a workout video, and then I forget the song, but it plays, and they're all just like dancing and laughing and like having a good time, just staring at like.
And is it not a real music video?
It might be. I don't remember
because it just seems like a Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a music video for this song, or if it's just like they just use that video because they're horny guys looking at the thing, but then like the music plays on like a boombox or something. But anywho, it's just a real fun scene that you go like kind of makes you go like, oh, I like these guys already, because they're all like instantly, you can tell they're tight and they're having a good time and you like them already, but then you don't know them as like individuals. So it was a good way to like start the movie, but then it doesn't really do anything with it.
Okay.
That's Warfare.
All right. Well, we have a conundrum to talk about. Do we do Minecraft then Sinners, because Minecraft came out first and Sinners is the most recent thing? Do we start with the thing that we probably may not have a ton to say, but we know is a better movie, and then end on, the freak fest that, in all the vitriol that is most definitely going to come out?
It's hard because I feel like both ways I could talk about quite a bit, and maybe you feel.
Should we roll for it?
I was going to say let's roll for it.
Even we talk about Minecraft, odd we talk about Sinners.
Sounds
no. I'm sorry. Even Sinners, because there's twins. So even is and then there's 5 in the group of Minecraft, and that's odd. So.
And it's an odd film. All right.
What are we talking about first?
That is a 4.
Okay, Sinners first.
Alrighty.
Okay, so Sinners, written and directed by Ryan Coogler. You know him from Creed 1 and 2, Fruitvale Station, Black Panther 1 and 2. I think that's his whole filmography right there.
Pretty much.
Not a bad movie in the bunch. I'm not the biggest fan of Black Panther when it comes to Marvel movies, but it is one of the good ones technically. Um, no, I have my problems
I
with
know
it.
what you mean.
Um, some people think it.
Just the idea of just like cut this
Okay,
out. But just like you're talking about like a black filmmaker,
yeah, I know,
black,
like
just like
superhero
he's one
movie.
of the good
He's one
ones
of the good.
though.
I know. That's not my
Poor
intent.
choice of words.
Yeah, I'm leaving that in. That's funny. I just mean like people say Black Panther is a top 5 Marvel movies, and
Sure.
for me, it's like B, C level, C tier when it comes to Marvel movies.
I mean, I'd say Black Panther 2 is like near the bottom, but Black Panther, the first one, I'd say like could be my top 10. I'm not really sure, but
Nah. Anywho, but regardless, he's a good director.
yeah.
He has, him and Michael B. Jordan. That's like the only person he worked with. He's, Scorsese's Leo. Um, it would be nice to see him, maybe branch away and try other things. But yeah, so it's a 1938, I think it said, is when it takes
Yeah, in the
place.
30s.
In the 30s, twins coming back from Chicago. They want to have a big old hoot and hollering, their own club, and so they gather their team of the best bartender, the best cook, the best bouncer, the best musician to have a rootin' tootin' good time. And then vampires come in and start fucking everything up. So, Steve, what'd you think of Sinners?
uh, I liked Sinners quite a bit. Uh, from the reactions of other people, they made it out to be like this grand masterpiece.
Yep.
I don't think it quite hits that high,
Mm-hmm.
but from start to finish, I had a good time. I appreciate that the first like third of this movie is just kind of like setup has
Yep.
nothing to do with vampires. You're just
Mm-hmm.
introducing these characters, introducing this world.
And learning about a bunch of
Yeah,
characters.
you like learn tragic backstories. You get the chemistry of Michael B. Jordan with himself,
Mm-hmm.
who is playing twins, but you can always tell them apart because they're very
Different hats.
yeah, different hats. One's wearing red, one's wearing blue,
Uh-huh.
but like
But their names together is Smokestack, which
yeah,
is
which is
so
so fucking
weird.
cool.
I find that weird. It's like, oh, I'm smoke, I'm ash. Oh, we're two parts of fire and blah blah blah. But it's like,
But
I'm
Smokehouse,
loco.
Stackhouse,
I
I
know,
don't
but
know. I
like
like
I'm
it.
loco and I'm motive. Together we're locomotive. It's like, why that of all things?
Because I'm crazy and I'm always on the move. Yeah.
I'm the thinker and have the plans and the motive. And I'm insane.
I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Okay.
Anywho, I by the end of this movie, I kind of felt like I would have much preferred just a movie set in this time period with these characters,
Mm-hmm.
like running this juke joint and like maybe dealing with the KKK
And
or
not
maybe
vampires.
not vampires. I think that
Yeah.
there's like it started off like okay, I could see this being maybe an Oscar caliber movie. It has all the makings of just like the time period,
Mm-hmm.
the dress, the score, all this really interesting stuff. Just like the South with a blues sort of a story of music at that time with like a gangster element to it. I
Mm-hmm.
think like there's a really fucking cool movie. Now the vampire stuff also really fun,
Mm-hmm.
but it almost feels like you have two separate movies, and I think they gel together.
It's a this meets that,
So this
for
means
sure.
that. And one of the big complaints I have when these kind of movies comes out is just like this movie didn't know what it wanted to be. It
Mm-hmm.
was this thing or this thing, and they just didn't work well. I think it was two separate movies that do work really well together, and I think it made a very fun, cohesive movie with like some very interesting ideas. But I think I could have done without the vampire stuff because it also didn't reinvent the wheel when
No.
it came to vampires. And I think the thing that I was more interested in is, this idea of kind of summoning spirits from past, present, and future, and
Mm-hmm.
like having this vampire go like, "Oh, you kind of have this thing in you that I want to feed on that will
Mm-hmm.
like give me something I can't have." Like that's an interesting idea that they don't really like expand on.
No.
And
But it's a nice touch of appropriation of what always happens with black music. Oh, it was blues and in your jazz and things, and then turns into R&B, and then rock and roll takes it over. And it's like, here comes this white Irish guy going like, I want what you have so I can be better and make it into what I want. In the guise of like, no, it's harmony between all of us. I don't know. That didn't bother me.
I get what it was going for. I'm just saying, I kind of I wanted more expanded on just like this cool idea of just like what if not necessarily that I needed him to like actually have powers,
Mm-hmm.
but the opening of this movie is like this narration of like, oh, across different cultures we use
Mm-hmm.
music to convene with the dead or the spirits or the heavens, whatever it is. And like I think that's a really cool thing that they kind of only do in one scene,
Sure.
and then it's like, and it's arguably like
The scene.
the scene of the movie.
That is going to go down in
and
history.
and then we just don't really ever go back to it.
Sure.
And I just kind of wish like that played in more,
Sure.
since that was like such a big moment of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed what this movie had to say. Like all the vampire stuff was like fun, and this movie was sexy and like actiony and just filled with like charisma and cool and like really good music. And so like I had a blast all the way through, but like I kind of just wish you cut out the vampire stuff.
Yeah, it really could have been, since they had kind of screwed over the mafia in Chicago or something. They robbed them blind. They got this, what was it, like Irish wine or Irish whiskey and Italian wine
or whatever.
something like that.
Irish beer, Italian wine.
Yeah, there you go. And they just robbed them blind. I can see that, oh, the mafia is coming after them. They heard they've opened up this thing. They get involved with the clan and go, hey, do you know anything? Maybe you could help us out. And then you do pretty much the same thing, except for it's now just people that you're killing, which I think would have been a perfectly fine movie. But I'm always going to be in favor of adding a little horror element.
Sure, I know you. This is like a perfect movie for you.
And then, like, when it got to the end and the clan guys showed up, I did feel like it felt a little tacked on.
Mm-hmm.
Like they mention it and went, oh, people are going to be pissed if we don't blow away a bunch of KKK members. Like, let's just put it in. So
here's a black film with like all these black actors, and it's a horror movie, and then they all die.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we need to take out some
and
some racist assholes.
And it had like nice catharsis for, it was Smoke, who was left, and he got to see his.
He was the final girl.
Yeah, you get to see his child and his woman who had also passed. And everyone loves seeing a big gun mowing down fucking assholes. But it did feel like the one scene that was a little out of place.
In a movie where there is one scene that is extremely out of place, but it works.
Yes. It absolutely works. And I'm fine it being there. And then we get to like the first credit scene that, okay, I don't mind having a little bit of credits. You're showing more stuff, but then it's like on for another 7 minutes. Like, this is a full scene. Mm-hmm. This either just needs to be in the movie or cut out. But I also enjoyed that scene, but it also felt a little, maybe a sequel, huh? These two are still alive. Do you want to maybe follow the further adventures of this? And so another scene of that maybe could have been hinted at but not actually told. But if you didn't do it, you don't know the outcome of these two characters because you don't see them officially. But if like he's playing and you just saw him like walk by a window, their eyes light up and he kind of like stumbles as he's playing, and then that's it. Like, oh, did they survive? Because when it first happened, I thought it was going to be the girl he had a crush on, because we saw her get bit, but we didn't see her get taken out, as far as I remember. And so I thought
I'm pretty sure we see her catch fire.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
I'm 99% sure.
I thought it was going to be her, but
well, see, this is going back to I think that's one of the elements that where you really could have used his like, oh, I can convene, or I could like this music brings out my ancestors or whatever. Like that would have been a real fun thing. Like I thought, instead of like having them come back at the end and be like, hey man, good to see you. We haven't seen you in 70 years. Like, can you play me one last song? See ya. It would have been like, oh man, if only I play this music now to see the people I don't get to see anymore.
And they like appear in the audience.
Because when we see him as a like 70-year-old blues musician and he's like a legend now, like I thought it was going to be him playing, and then he looks out in the audience, and then you're not quite sure if he's seeing it or if it's just like the music makes them feel like they're there. But you would just see like all the people who
Sure.
died in the movie, like in the audience. And I
Yeah.
thought that would be very emotionally effective.
Sure.
But then you don't do anything with that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I was looking for when you talked about like, oh, music brings out
Mm-hmm.
these things.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you see the actual post-credit scene? Because
no,
I didn't stay.
I didn't stay either, but then I went online afterwards, like, oh, there's a post-credit scene,
Yeah.
and so I just YouTubed it, and I
So,
was like,
so what was it?
it was the main kid, the one who played the guitar. It was just him singing
Church boy, preacher boy,
Preacher Boy, singing "This Little Light of Mine," but
Mm.
like his bluesy version of it, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't. It was just like, look at how talented this young man is.
Okay.
So it doesn't add anything to the movie.
Okay.
But it was like kind of cool.
All right. I don't know if I just heard a rumor. Maybe you know more, but I heard something that this wasn't supposed to be twins. It wasn't Michael B. Jordan and twins. That it was actually Michael B. Jordan and what's his face from Creed 3?
Jonathan Majors?
Jonathan Majors. They were going to play either brothers or cousins or something like that. But then after all the Jonathan Majors stuff released, they went, ooh, no. We gotta reshoot some of this. And then they're like, fuck it, just do Michael B. Jordan and have them be twins, add a couple of lines here and there. But I haven't seen anything about that. So it had to have been just a rumor, right?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
You haven't heard anything about that? No. Okay. I just wanted to ask.
Yeah. But I mean, I liked Michael B. Jordan. I enjoyed the brothers. I enjoyed Preacher Boy. Like, I liked all the characters, and you just get enough of their like backstory to go like, okay, I'm into these people. But like, I just wish we spent a little bit more time with them, or I've said it on here before, like I'm a character guy, so like at the end when he gets to see his, lost lover and the baby that never was, like I wanted that to hit harder. I wanted, Stack and Smoke's like goodbye to hit harder.
Yeah, because we don't see that. Yeah, because you got to save it for this crazy little mid
just
credit.
Like any moment where these characters are like really could have had like a special moment, you don't really get. And then like Haley Steinfeld's character, I think, is kind of a standout in the movie. Not just because she's the only white lady, but here's this character that we could really get into, and like why she is into Stack and their relationship and everything. And then that post-credit sequence just makes her out to be some sort of like
vapid,
lustful sex pot character who's just like
sucking
on a lollipop in
front
of the bartender. It's like, I mean, I get that she's like, maybe they want to feed on that bartender, like, but we don't really understand how these like vampires operate either.
Yeah,
like here's Remick, who's the main villain of the movie, who is like 800 years old.
I think it's 1,300 years old.
Whatever it is. But like very, very like ancient vampire essentially. And it seems like he chose today to do like vampire shit. It's like, so has he been like doing this other places just unsuccessfully? Do they need to feed constantly? Because like have Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld like been drinking people's blood throughout the 80 years, or they don't even feel that hunger? It's just like, oh, if we wanted to make other vampires, we could, but we don't need to. You don't get any like.
You don't get the lore.
Susceptible to garlic and holy water,
asking to come
inside. Like the rules of the vampire are all there, but we have no idea like
lore.
The lore of like how these things function. And then we have these like Native American bounty hunter, vampire hunters, and like, oh, those guys are cool. They're definitely going to show up later. You never see them again.
It's like, not our problem.
Yeah. As soon as night falls, it's like, well, we can't fight them on their home turf, so we got to wait till the sun comes up.
Yeah, I thought they were really going to show up again. And what were they doing with him? Did they have him captured and he like for a while and like, we can't let this guy free, but we're not allowed to kill him for whatever reason, and he got out? Did they just stumble across him? Like, we don't know. Like you say, Rennick just decides to do vampire shit this one day and just so happens to come across the nephew or son of the clan leader. Yeah, what was going on just hours or days before?
I mean, the only like newish thing that I think they did with the vampires, at least that I haven't really seen, is like hive mind kind of stuff.
Sure, yeah.
It's like, I know they've done the like, you kill the main vampire, they all die in like that hive mind sense, but just like when I bite him, or whenever people like I bite like join my coven or whatever, like we all share memories. It's like, oh, okay, that's a cool idea.
I think they do that in the strain, but But yeah, that was like there's some vampire stuff that I think is really really fun. Like I like the highlights in their eyes
Oh
when
yeah,
that
great.
cornbread guy is taking a piss and you see the fireflies, but then you
Hmm.
just see their eyes in the background. Amazing. When Haley Steinfeld is walking away and he just like starts to fly
Yep.
just a foot or two off the
Just to
ground.
make
Just
everyone in the audience go,
yeah,
yeah.
they're just like fun little things like that, but they turn into completely different people once they get bit. And
Hmm.
then I know they have this hive mind, so is it all because they're under his control? Because once he's dead and we go forward, 90 years,
Hmm.
they seem to be doing their own thing. Are they still connected through just being a vampire with each other? Or is that sort of like they got their personality back because the main guy is dead? Like the rules of these
Hmm.
vampires are classic, but also still ill-defined.
Yeah. Uh, did you see that the red eyes was inspired by Puss in Boots?
Oh,
Death,
really?
the
Death?
Death. Yeah, he's like, I got that idea from Death and Puss in Boots.
That's
So he's like, I
awesome.
think that movie's fucking sweet. And
Yeah,
Puss in Boots is fucking
it's
sweet.
pretty sweet. Yeah,
And Death is one of the
yeah,
greatest animated villains ever.
yeah.
Anywho,
Delroy Lindo's in this. Another person who I thought was already dead. I feel bad thinking that because I swore he died not too long ago. Like when Defy Bloods came out, I thought he died not too long after that.
hmm,
But still, looking great. Looking, like he's.
crushing it.
I love that guy. I
Yeah.
always think of Congo when I think of Delroy Lindo, but
One of those like legendary actors who've been doing it for so long and is in so much stuff.
so much
But
stuff.
most people probably don't know his name. But
Probably not.
Delroy
Yeah.
Lindo is a fucking legend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed everyone in this. I enjoyed the Irish jig dance scene. Like that musical
Mm-hmm.
moment was really fun. And just like having all these people circle and the way their eyes light up,
Yeah.
like very scary, very fun scene. I guess we can talk about like the scene of the movie, which is Preacher Boy finally gets to like come up and play his music
Yeah.
in front of everybody. And as he's playing we get this long tracking shot that goes through the crowd, and as it's going through the crowd, it's like, oh, well, now there's like this weird
Oh,
African thing,
and the guy with an electric guitar.
here's a guy with electric guitar, very like funk era
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and then oh, now we got um
Like hip hop
hip hop
dancers and
dancers and twerking over here, and a DJ over
DJ.
here from
Yeah.
the '80s. We
Mm-hmm.
got a geisha like doing
Yeah,
like
because they even do Asian stuff because we have
because we have
two Chinese
two Chinese
characters.
characters, yeah. Like really fun idea, and like the way the music is kind of chaotic but blends really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like really impressive scene. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's like score for this movie because
Sure.
like a lot of stuff I saw was like this movie has Oscar potential. If it wasn't in April, and it was like this is an early contender for stuff, and it's like
Nah.
maybe music.
Yeah.
I don't think this movie's getting nominated for anything but that.
Yeah.
At best, original screenplay,
Sure.
maybe.
Maybe.
Uh, but I think that's it. It's too early in the game, and it's I don't think it's good enough, quote unquote, to fit to that Oscar
Yeah.
sort of race. But I would say this movie is kind of more. I would say this movie is better than Black Panther, but
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther had a lot more going for it.
Sure.
But
Funnier too. Like still really great large cast.
yeah,
Maybe not a great ending, but I don't know. Leads are totally different. Like
but
Sinners has much better leads than Black
yeah,
Panther.
and I mean Black Panther also had like everything that it was nominated for that it won,
Mm-hmm.
totally deserved.
Mm-hmm.
It had multiple Oscars that it deserved, but then like Best Picture and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like this is
Get
here.
out of
This is
here.
here for like
Get out
the
of here.
relevance.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Uh-huh.
What I will say is I think Ryan Coogler is super fucking talented
Yeah.
and hasn't made a bad movie yet, with the exception of you could argue Wakanda Forever,
Sure.
but that's like not really his fault.
Not his
There is a lot of
a lot of other
a lot of
factors.
tragic things that
Yeah.
happened
Uh-huh.
that sort of shaped how that movie came to be.
Yeah.
So we don't count that one.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'll see anything this guy makes. Like clearly he loves film.
Yeah.
Clearly he's got eye for talent because Preacher Boy, it's his first fucking movie
Yeah.
ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he was great.
Yep.
And I think I heard he learned guitar for this movie.
Oh wow.
Which is fucking crazy. I mean, I think he was doing like music and
Mm-hmm.
singing like for church stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he just once he got this role, he's like, I guess I gotta fucking learn blues guitar, which is crazy because it
Yeah.
seems super hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Michael B. Jordan is a fucking star. It's I was looking at his IMDb earlier, and it's just like great movie, shitty thing, great movie, shitty thing. Like a lot of the stuff in the past decade has sort of been like really like all over the place, hit or miss, or just like no one's like. Did you see Fahrenheit 451?
Yeah,
Did you like it?
I didn't hate it.
Oh, okay.
It was fine. But it's like you look at some of his worst things like Fan Four Stick.
Fan Four Stick.
He's not the problem.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
no, yeah. I
he's a
don't think.
good Johnny Storm. Bad movie.
Yeah, I think he's a good actor. Just some of his choices in movies, it's like, oh well, this even if the movie wasn't necessarily bad, like didn't equate to anything.
Yeah.
But then he's got some like everything with Coogler, it's just a fucking
Yeah.
smash hit. Like if I was Michael B. Jordan, if Ryan Coogler calls me, I'm
You
just
do
fucking
it,
showing up.
regardless.
Because they clearly know how to work with each other and make great stuff. Because I don't know, did you ever see Fruitvale Station?
Yeah, saw it in theaters.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That movie was fucking great.
It's great. Yeah, because I was living in the city that it happened, Sacramento or San Jose. I can't remember. It's one of those. I was living in that city, and it came out, and there was a lot of hubbub about it. And I was like, saw it, and was like, holy shit! I didn't even realize like I've been to that station. Like I didn't never stopped at that station, but like I passed through there. Like this happened in my town that I lived in for a year.
Yeah.
So I had to go see it.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. I liked it. I like everyone in it. I like Ryan Coogler. Give me more shit. And it was cool that this is kind of his first, like this is what he chose to do for his original thing. Because like you have him and he's working the studio system, made hit after hit after hit. And it's like, okay, you did 5 for us. What do you want to make?
Yeah.
And then he just goes, I want to make a vampire movie with blues. It's like,
go for it.
Weird choice, but okay.
And I heard he, in his contract, like he gets the rights back to this movie in 25 years.
That's fucking crazy.
That's cool. Studios don't give up shit for anything.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out 25 years from now.
When he's
I hope this movie
70...
continues to grow, and I hope it makes a fuck ton of money. And I, hope Ryan Coogler goes on to make every great piece of cinema. But it's interesting that this is the first thing, because I felt like, oh, this is the time when he would do some sort of like auteur Oscar thing where it's just like, I don't know, like his 12 Years a Slave or whatever.
Or his Get Out,
something like that. But it's just like, nah, man, I want to make a fucking cool ass vampire movie. And like, I'm for it. But it's an interesting choice.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say, a lot of pussy talk in this movie.
Let me...
Or I shouldn't say, I should say coos talk.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. I haven't heard that word in years.
Since the 30s.
And then hearing like fucking Haley Steinfeld drop that word, I was like, oh, that took me back.
Yeah, it was jarring because we've always seen her as like the nice girl and stuff, I think. Just did you ever see that movie? What was it? 17.
The Edge of 17.
Edge of 17.
I hate that movie.
Really?
She sucks so hard in it. I really, because I saw like
she's not a good person, but I
couldn't stand her.
I enjoyed that movie.
Like it was like that in 8th grade came out.
Okay.
Like, or at least I watched them close together, and I thought it was gonna be more like that. And it's like, this chick is insufferable. Fuck this movie.
Teenagers, man.
I do not like that movie.
Kate Bishop.
True Grit.
Like she's been Pitch Perfect movies.
Oh yeah.
Like she's just always been like the nice sweet girl.
Isn't
next door
she going to be in
thing.
the Weeknd's new movie, or is that someone else?
Jen Ortega.
Jen Ortega. Okay, never mind. Yeah.
And then here she is, just like talking about fucking and stuff. It's like, whoa.
Oh,
all right.
hey.
But let me just say, in a movie where people are like getting limbs ripped off and slicing their arms to shoot blood. The grossest thing in this fucking movie is her spitting in Michael B. Jordan's mouth.
Oh, I know. Where did that come from?
Shocking. That was the most shocking thing in this movie, frankly. And I'm not a prude and I'm not kink shaming or anything, but I know we all share each other's juices, and it's just the way things is, the way it is, and it's beautiful and disgusting. But just something about like someone standing over me and just like spitting in my mouth.
It's the transfer, mouth to mouth. That's fine. Yeah. There's like a seal. You have become one. But when the spit leaves your mouth, now it's contaminated. Now it's disgusting, and then goes into your mouth. That's raunchy.
Yeah, it was a lot too.
Yeah,
I mean, good for them. And maybe it was also actually the grossness because when she was like really like getting ready to bite him,
she's just drooling.
The drool looked thicker and like grosser.
Yep.
I don't know. I get it. Knock yourself out,
Sure,
kids.
like
But it's just not my thing.
the act, not for it, but him saying, "Oh, you're drooling," and you're like, "You want some?" Like, okay, I get that, but then I don't want the follow through.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
next,
Sinners, go see it. I'm gonna
I
say,
gave it an A.
yeah, I'm gonna say A minus.
Okay,
There's not quite what I wanted, but I'm glad I got what I got. A
would you say
minus.
best thing you've seen this year? It's like
Probably.
this
What
or
else?
Companion for me.
I
There
think
was
I like this more than
There
Companion.
was something else that I was thinking, like, oh, because I remember thinking, oh, it's Companion and this are the best things I've seen this year. Um, oh, Black Bag was the other thing. I would say
Oh,
I like this more than Black Bag, but
yeah.
it's a different beast.
If it's of those three, I'm gonna recommend Sinners to everybody. I think
Mm-hmm.
Sinners has something for everyone. It's a lot
Sure.
more enjoyable.
Yep.
I mean, unless you're just not like into horror and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like Black Bag is a movie I could see like boring a lot of
Parents.
people. Like this is
You
like
tell your mom and
tell your
dad
mom
to
about
watch
Black Bag,
this.
and then Companions for like the younger
Yep.
audiences because your parents aren't gonna give a shit about this
Nah.
movie. But that one is
That's
also
what you tell your coworkers and stuff too.
yeah. But Sinners I think is just like perfectly down the
Yep.
middle. It's a great film that's also fun.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, let's get to maybe the biggest movie of the year.
Could be.
The movie that saved Superman from having to save Warner Brothers. They could, James Gunn could take a little sigh of relief. He doesn't need to make $3 billion, otherwise the whole studio gets put away. Minecraft helped. It's a shame that it did because you don't want a movie that is just, I don't know, bottom of the barrel dreck to be the big money makers because that's all studios see. They go,
Mhm.
oh, this is what they want. They want references and they want adaptations of dumb shit. So let's just give them more of that. So it's the Fortnite movie, it's the Roblox movie,
Yeah.
it's just all that. And you want the cinema to save cinema, and this is not that. It is the opposite of art. I hate this movie so much. It was unenjoyable. And talking to Nick, he said, "You guys had a good time chuckling at each other." And I think if I had you next to me, I would have had a better time.
Mhm.
But I was straight faced through most of this, and it just was like scratching at the back of my eyeballs. It's ugly when there's people on screen. When
Mhm.
it's just the pigs and stuff, like, why isn't this just an animated movie? And then the people show up and you go, oh, this is ugly. It's bad acting. There's no characters, barely even a plot. Nobody learns a lesson. Nobody grows. They all get to the end where it seems like they're supposed to learn lessons, but they didn't learn anything along the way. It's not funny, except for maybe Jermaine Clement at the beginning, just going like, two guys wearing shirts together, or blue shirts together. I really like that. But most of it is just so unfunny, and it's ugly. Steve, your namesake's in this. What'd you think?
I pretty much agree with everything you said, except for I really enjoyed this movie. It is, uh, as a film, not good. I agree. It visually like doesn't look great, especially when humans are on screen. It could have been a Mario Brothers esque sort of look.
Mhm.
I think you could have cut out the kids completely. You didn't need them. It's just you need a kid there because this is a kids
'Cause it's a
movie and
kids
they're
movie.
the surrogate for the audience. I get that.
The
Uh,
other woman,
uh,
pointless.
yeah, like why Danielle Brooks is in this? Like, oh, we need to pair her up. We need the
We
sister to
need
be
another
paired up with
girl.
somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like you cut her out. The real
Yep.
estate agent adds nothing to the movie. You cut out the sister who is like looks like she's 17 who now
Yeah.
like owns a house and
Yeah.
has to like raise her little brother.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was it's like you don't need to have like dead parents. Like there was no reason that these two siblings make her 17, make him 14 or whatever. Their parents moved to this town because they got a job at the chip factory where
Yep.
they discovered this crystal that took them to this portal. Like
Sure.
you didn't like you made their parents dead and I have to raise you as like this emotional thing,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't really do anything with it because you separate them from the majority of the movie.
Yeah.
Like just get rid of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Um
And I'll have other pitches and stuff, but why not just make Jack Black their uncle?
uh
And either it's like, I'm sending you to go live with your uncle, and then they show up and he's not there, or mom's dead, we have to go live. We inherited Uncle Steve's house.
Yeah.
They find a way into Minecraft. Like, there's easier ways to tie these characters together
Mm-hmm.
and make it a tighter story. Like, Jason Momoa and Jack Black are the same character. Why isn't Jack Black a video game player who won a championship? Like, he could be actually playing Minecraft and get sucked in somehow because he spilled his Slurpee on the arcade game.
Yeah.
So why does
Well,
it
then
need to
that's
be
just
two?
Jumanji.
I know, but it's Jumanji anyways.
Yeah,
So
but-
you don't need both of them.
Yeah, I think like because Steve is a character in the video game,
Mm-hmm.
you have Steve be a digital creature in this world
Mm-hmm.
who wants something more. You have Jason Momoa is like, in my world, I was a success, but then I became a failure because arcades died, and my 15 minutes of fame was playing this thing. If only there was a place for me. And he's a big video game lover, so you make him go into the game and make Steve come out of the game, and now like you have these two people, like that's their journey. It's like we're gonna trade places,
Sure.
kind of thing.
Or just Steve's locked up by the pig lady, and we got to get Steve because he's the only one that knows how to get us out of here.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but it doesn't matter. Story doesn't really matter too much in this series.
And all the characters, like, okay, you got a video game player. It doesn't help him at all. You have a kid with a crazy imagination. He makes a gun. You have his sister mom who, like, her thing at the end is like, she opened up a self-defense thing. But it's not like she was weak and scared, and then this brought it out of her.
Yeah.
She just had to fight for some reason.
She needed to get another job, so she just decided to open up a dojo.
A dojo, yeah. And then, what's her name? Danielle Harris?
Danielle Brooks.
Danielle Brooks. They had an opportunity, like, oh, I have a mobile zoo. Oh, you're good with animals. Well, and she does a little bit with the wolves, but I felt like there was going to be more of her being able to.
After the pig war or whatever, they're like, oh, well, our mistress queen is dead. And it's like,
I'm good with animals. I could do that.
And
yeah.
she replaces them as like their leader.
Yeah. No, she just takes a weird square wolf to the real world that if anybody saw, they'd go, what the fuck did you do to this wolf? Like, when you.
That's the weirdest dog I've ever seen.
Yeah, when you grow a watermelon in a mold and it's a square something, it's like, did that wolf get raised in a cage and that's why he looks like that? He would instantly be taken away. So it's like all these characters have no motivation, but they learn a lesson that they didn't learn, and they're in a better place by the end of it. And you could hone these characteristics to make them a good reason why they're all together.
Yeah.
And they just don't do anything with them.
Yeah. I mean, Jack Black was playing Jack Black.
God.
But like, I don't know. I kind of had a good time with his silliness. And Jason Momoa played a character at the beginning. I was like, this character is going to annoy me. Just like his gravelly voice and just douchebaggery. It's not a character I enjoy.
Yeah.
But as the movie went on, I was like, you know what?
He's probably the best character.
It's kind of working for me. It's kind of fun seeing this big doofus being a big doofus. And I thought, actually, a lot of the jokes kind of worked. The beginning with Jack Black and like he's a kid and there's the miner and the miner like grrr, and the kid runs away and he comes back and the miner is there. He hasn't aged a day in like 40 years. Yeah. And then they just like and he just like jukes him a little bit. I don't know, like that physical comedy made me laugh quite a bit.
I don't
the
get
stuff at the end with the pig
with the knife
wizard, like crack it up laugh. That is a really funny joke.
That's a joke that does it one time too many, and you kill the joke.
It worked. I really liked it.
Okay, Jack Black yearns for the mines. Haha, it's a meme. Remember? Kids used to be miners, and then we took that away, but they all play Minecraft now. It's a meme. Funny.
Oh, I don't know.
That's an actual meme that came out that children yearn for the mine. They took it away from them, and that's why they play Minecraft. So they put it in. Okay. So it's like this movie's just chock full of these things. Like that pig with the crown on it. What the fuck is that? That has to be something, right?
I did see a thing. That is a nod to a gamer account where they were really into Minecraft and then they died in like the community so it's just like that is just like a hey this kid is a legend in the Minecraft community because this gamer died and this is our nod to him.
So then young Jack Black's like, oh, I'm too young for the mines. Okay, I'll become a doorknob salesman. And then I just remembered I wanted to be in the mines, and so I went to the mines. What is that? Why couldn't it just be a show with him year after year trying to get in and he stopped it and he stopped and he stopped? Then he eventually gets in. Why do you got to do this sidetrack thing where he got a humdrum job? It's
I mean,
just
I think the Jared Hess, Gentleman Broncos, Napoleon Dynamite in this movie, like all that stuff
works.
elevates it and
Yes.
makes it
If
work.
it just was a weird enough like Gentleman Broncos, it's not weird enough. It's stupid.
But it's also got to play to a major audience. So
I-
like it's
I
like the
get
comedy's
it.
there, but it's
Don't
also,
hire this guy
It's
then.
also dumbed down for children.
Okay, so they live in a town called like what was it? Like Chumbucket or
Sure.
it was like oh, wait, hold on. Because the pig general was called Chungus and
Yeah.
they live in Chugless.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Okay, Chungus is a meme as well. It's a Bugs Bunny meme, but I don't know if it applies to Minecraft as well. Okay, you want to do that and put that in? Change the name of the town. Like, if one got his name from the other, like, if you tied it all together, but it's way too similar. Like, having a Brian and a Ryan as your main characters, but you never bring up that their names are similar and there's confusion or whatever. It's just silly. It's just weird. Why would they do that? This movie's so frustrating.
No, this movie is dumb and it is not a good film. But going in not knowing anything, not being a Minecraft player, not getting all the in jokes, not like looking at something and go like, I'm sure that's something, but I didn't care about it because like I don't care about the lore of this world. For something I expected to go in and absolutely hated, I had a good time. And there's a lot I would change about it, but because I don't care about this movie at all, I'll probably never see it again. It was just like for an hour and 45 minutes of my life, like I was entertained. And if that's all it does for me, great. I mean, I'll give this movie a C because it is an affront to, I think, filmmaking. But as a movie, it was fun and a good time. So that's what I'll say about that. If you told me this movie is going to have the most explosions of any movie this year, I'd go, there's no way that's true. Because there was an explosion in like every fucking scene. I'm not talking about like blocks, like, and they just tumble down. I'm talking about full blown, like die hard flaming explosions all throughout this movie. Like,
there's a lot. Yeah. And Jason Momoa takes one to the face on the bridge and they go, oh, he's dead. You know, he's not dead, but whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're like, how'd you survive that? Oh, I used Steve's bucket trick. Like, I wasn't worried about the fall you surviving. I was worried about all the dynamite that blew up in your face. That didn't kill you? No answer for that? Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
And do you feel like they really wanted to have some sort of, like, sexual thing between Jason Momoa and Jack Black? Because they do, like,
honestly,
the man sandwich.
I wish they did.
There's a lot of, like, just like in each other's faces and giving each other looks, and it felt like they really want people to go like, yeah, this does it for me, and everyone starts doing the art and it just pushes the
I didn't really get that vibe. I think it was just like, what do two big doofuses do, and they just like vibe well. I think it's just like mutual respect of like,
nah,
we're both
gay.
gamer
Nope,
guys,
it's gay.
but
It's just super gay.
if they were, more power to them.
Yeah,
more power ups to them.
and then you have what's her fucking face in the real world courting the villager
Jennifer
guy.
Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge, another Gentleman Broncos alum.
Yeah.
And that is just nothing.
Yeah, you could have cut all that out, but there was a couple of lines I think that made me laugh.
I mean, it's just her going like, like, oh, I like Jennifer Coolidge, so I like this scene. That's about it.
That's about it.
And then to, do a rug pull at the end and go, oh, now let's put like, we have a character that has no voice. Let's give him the coolest voice in Hollywood, Matt Berry.
Yeah.
And it's all for what? And then her husband, her ex-husband shows up, and it happened to be the gym coach or something. So they work in the same. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a silly movie.
Get rid of all that. More Napoleon Dynamite, more Gentleman Broncos. Like Jack Black is great in Nacho Libre, but this just feels like I got nothing else in the tank. Because, like I said last year, Jack Black had a rough year last year. nothing good. I mean, he like box office success with like Mario Brothers, but that was like the year before. But whatever, a lot of bad things were happening to
He's been in
him.
like every major video game movie the past couple of
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
and he's making a fuck ton of
He's
money,
making tons of
but he's
money,
not
but
making
his
like
star level
yeah.
is dropping.
I think he's like the kids actor right now.
Yeah.
Like he is the go-to guy. So he's big in that space,
Mm-hmm.
but as like you're not casting him in a fucking Nolan movie or anything like that. It's like, what's he gonna do there?
Yeah, he needs another Peter Jackson's King Kong to come through, and
Yeah, yeah.
But even in that, I remember watching the first time and going, "Oh, Jack Black, you're Jack Blacking it up too much. You don't fit this era." I watch it now, and it works a little bit better for me. But this just felt like, especially with how big he is and how big his beard is, that he had like gone through a Nick Nolte thing of driving through people's yards, had a psychotic break, and needed his shot back in, but they needed to film today. He was not allowed to get sobered up or cleaned up, and they just threw him on the set. And it's like, what's my line? Say, we need to cross this great valley. And it's like, well, how do you want me to say it? It's like, you know how to say it. And we need to cross. We need to get across this great valley. It's like any word that he can Jack Black it up a little bit. Like, this is just dialogue. This isn't some big reveal. Why do every sentence has to have that little Jack Black ism in it, and it just got so old. Boo, worst movie of the year. Maybe not. I don't know. I think I probably gave something an F this year. This gets a D-. It sucks. Barely any redeeming qualities. Could have been an interesting movie. Boo.
I'll give it a C just for the sheer audacity. Because I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to talk about real quick before we finally wrap up is okay. Forget about her opening a dojo. Okay. So it gets to the end, and then like what saves Jason Momoa's business and like what saves them and the group or whatever is like they come out of Minecraft, and then he makes the next great arcade game in the modern day when no one is making arcade games unless it's like for like you can buy it off the PlayStation Store, and it's like, oh, this cool side scroller thing, like that's fun.
Maybe that's their play tester thing, and then they put it out on Steam.
If he told me like, oh, well, he got into he decided, you know what, I can't be living the past anymore. He's into PlayStation 5 now, and he made this old school game that's really successful because it's a lot of fun and brings people back to that time of arcade games. Like I get that, but from the context of the movie, it's just like, well, no, we made an arcade game, and now everyone comes to the store and plays it, and like, I get to be in a rock band with Jack Black or whatever. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like, and also, like, is all your clientele like 12 years old? Like, how are you like financially safe now? Like, your business was going under, and also this would have taken ages to develop.
Yeah. If the kid said, "Hey, I saved one diamond for you," because if he left with the diamonds, like, oh, he didn't really learn his lesson. But if one of the kids are like, I get it, here you go, now we can fund, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we're able to bring back this thing, sell it, and like that would make total sense, no problem. Yeah. Or you go, hey, we went to this world, I got an idea for a video game. We call it Minecraft. Yeah. And then it's like he created Minecraft. And which we know is the most successful video game of all time. Problem solved. That's how you end the movie.
God, it's right there.
And he made what was the arcade game even about?
It was like
it had nothing to do with their adventures.
No, it was just like the game he was a champion of. It was just like a side-scroller beat-em-up, but also he was playing against two players in that championship flashback thing. So I don't know how it works. Yeah. But it's like, that's all you did. So you had this crazy adventure and you just made a beat-em-up. Like, so you really didn't even learn anything more. I'm going to do the same thing I've already done.
Yeah. So this movie obviously is going to make a fuck ton of money. Yep. It's super successful. It's all over the internet. It's getting these kids to show up like it was the Minions movie and all that kind of stuff.
But worse, at least with the Minions movie, it was people dressing up nicely because they were gentle minions. That was the whole bit.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha, isn't it funny to see these teens and adults go see this child movie in suits? This is how big of an asshole could you possibly be in a movie just because someone said a reference?
Yeah.
And that is just, and I know studios go like, oh, well, everyone wants to be a part of that sort of thing, so we need more of this.
This is the children's Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
They're going to be playing Minecraft movie for the next 40 years.
Yeah, in 20 years, when these kids are in college or out of college and have stuff like their own families, Yeah, go to a midnight screening and say you're chicken jockey and stuff like that. But like right now, you're just teaching bad behavior because I'm hearing so many stories of people just running into theaters that run into Black Bag and go chicken jockey and then run out. So it's like you're just creating menaces. So what are we doing next week?
Well,
okay, you still got one more thing, huh?
No, it's not really one more thing. So I was saying
before I cut you off, sorry.
Yeah. So the movie's gonna make a ton of money, super successful. We all know how this goes. Minecraft 2, any day now, greenlit if it's not already. Do you have a pitch for Minecraft 2?
I mean, you do the opposite. Now that Minecraft's in the real world, there's I don't know their
the
lore.
minds yearn for the world.
The mind yearns for the kids.
Yeah,
wants to swallow their souls. I've heard there's some sort of like big dragon. We have to go back because we left it in a state of disrepair. There's a dragon coming because of the thing we did. Maybe we unlocked it, and you just go back, fight the dragon.
I don't know anything about Minecraft lore to like pitch another thing. I'm sure there's like other worlds that we haven't seen.
But I could just see it's going to be Minecraft is in the real world and everybody's got.
That's why I think they should have invented Minecraft at the end. Because you have it's this big successful game, and then you have all these people who like know how to play it, and it's like, oh, you guys don't actually know this is actually like a real place. And then in the second movie, when that world is in disarray, it's like, oh my god, I'm just one kid. How am I supposed to save the world? It's like, we go get ourselves an army.
Yeah.
And they go back to the real world, recruit all these Minecraft players,
and they
come in, and then they like build they're the master builders from Lego.
Yep.
And then they save the world. Like, there's that movie right there.
That's fine.
But no, they just made a side-scroller beat 'em up, starring Jason Momoa for some fucking reason. Okay. Anyhow. What a day.
Yeah.
So, I think, despite Minecraft being the second best movie of the year, I think it's pretty safe to say, if you haven't seen Sinners, go see Sinners.
Yeah.
Support original filmmaking. Support black filmmakers. And support just good movies in general.
Yeah.
So
don't support Drek.
Yeah. And also, don't support racists, or we're gonna Tommy gun you down.
There's a lesson there. See, you learn lessons in Sinners. There's really no lessons to learn in Minecraft. So next week, 3 big movies coming out.
Ooh.
Legend of Ochi, Accountant 2, and Until Dawn. So a nice variety of things. If I had to cut one, I'll probably cut Legend of Ochi, even though it looks adorable.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm probably like the most interested
in. Yeah.
But I also could see it going. I could see that not being a very good movie, where it's like Until Dawn, probably gonna suck. But at least I played the game, and if I hate it and you like it, it would make a good episode.
Yeah.
And
whereas Accountant 2,
it's like, what are we gonna say about that?
They killed some guys, and he was very autistic.
The movie was better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah,
but I didn't need a sequel.
Yeah, but where's what's her face? From Bring It On. Not Bring It On.
Oh,
Pitch Perfect. Anna Kendrick.
I forgot she
was in there. Yeah. I wonder if they'll address it. She's the Julia Stiles of this Bourne universe.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. But yeah, that movie just feels like they need another franchise, so whatever. And then we'll also maybe kind of, depends on Steve's schedule, talk about Black Mirror Season 7. I have finished it. I got my thoughts. Steve's got, 6+ hours to catch up on.
I'll do my best.
If you don't think you could get it and you need an episode to skip, I got one that you can skip.
Okay.
I think some people said it's the best one. I don't get that. So
sometimes we very much agree, and sometimes we very much disagree.
I don't understand why anybody could like this one best.
Let me ask you one question.
Sure.
Typically, there's like one episode. Is there one episode that's like the sweet, charming one, or are they all kind of like bleak?
No,
dystopian?
There's 2. Well, one that is closer to the what's it called?
San Junipero?
Yeah, I was going to call it Baja Blast. It's similar in that vein, but it's not as sweet. And then there's one that is very sentimental, but still tragic.
Got it.
And then others that are just like, oh my God, what kind of world are we living in? And then there's the Star Trek sequel episode. So I'd say it's
That's
better.
the first time they've done
a sequel. I mean, they've had little tie-ins, you know, and there's a lot more tie-ins. Like someone had worked at a fast food restaurant, and it was referenced in, I think, in the Shut Up and Dance, like the kid worked there. So like little things like that. There's a lot of like, you know, you put the little disc on the side of your head to do the thing. They do that in a bunch of them. So like you can tell they're connected worlds without any sort of like absolute canon, you know, rules.
It would be fun to do an episode where we'd like rank
every single one.
Every episode, yeah.
That'd be tough because like go back and think of.
But there's only what 30 episodes?
Yeah, I think like 38 or 37, maybe, I don't know. But like think of Metalhead. Mm-hmm. You remember what that one was?
Yeah, the little killer dog robot thing.
How did it end though? Like I remember going, oh, it's just a killer dog, but that would be scary. But was there a twist at the end? Was it like a bunch of guys gambling? An evil overlord.
Need to do a Wikipedia scroll through.
And so it'd be a little harder. Where it's like I remember Nosedive being really good, but maybe I wouldn't like it as much this time. Or like Crocodile. I think it was Crocodile. I remember people not liking because had the hamster at the end with the memories in the hamster. But I thought that was a real fucked up episode.
Yeah,
so.
It was fucked up episode.
So it would be kind of hard. This season's definitely better than season 5, which was just the 3 episodes. It was like the Miley Cyrus one, the gay friend video game one, Striking Vipers, and then one called Smithereens, where it's like a bomb in a car in an Uber in the middle of a field or something. So it's like you don't even remember that one.
With
the dude from Sherlock, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking hate that guy.
Scott something.
It's not Adam Scott. I know. I do it all the time. Yeah, I hate that guy so much. He sucks. So yeah, this is a better season than other seasons, but maybe not as strong as like looking back at last season. Like, damn, that was good. That was good. That was good. So, but still, it's
even the episode where it was like the serial killer videotape thing. I was just like, oh, that was a fun episode.
That was a great episode. Yeah. And some people don't
like.
It's
like the least Black Mirror episode.
Sure,
like all Black Mirror.
It fits, but it's like that could just be a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Whereas Paparazzi Werewolf is a very bizarre episode, and
but the best final line in the fucking Black Mirror episode.
I don't remember it. What was it?
It was just because she was a photographer and she's standing over the girl after she's like reverted back and she's like, shoot me, and then you just see the camera flash.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, great stuff.
Oh, well,
but you also had the gun.
Let's save it for next week. Yeah. You already got a lot on your plate to try to watch 6 more episodes. You really think you're going to have time to rank these as well?
Maybe you don't know what I can do.
I've only begun to fly. All right.
I'm spitting in your mouth, baby.
Oh, okay.
We're all sinners here.
All right. If you want to get in contact with us, we are at WRPL podcast at gmail.com. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads. As always, I'm Ben.
And I'm Steve.
And keep consuming.